the Intelijel plonk. The plonk is wonderful because what that is it's something called a physical modeling synthesizer. Every time that I hit this red button, the plonk makes a sound. It can sound like so many different things, but you might agree that me constantly hitting the red button is not the best way to make musical results. What we're going to do is we're going to feed in the sequencer from the DFAM. And for that, we just need some modular cables. These are little cables like this. And what we just need to do now is we need to choose one of these outputs to feed into the plonk. So for example, the trigger output means that every time a step is triggered here, it's going to trigger the plonk. Look, here's a trig input on the plonk. Boop. Now, what happens if I hit play? This works pretty well, but as you might agree, it's gonna get boring pretty quickly, and we're not using any of the beautiful modulation capabilities of the step sequencer. Let's use the pitch outputs to feed the pitch inputs. Nice. Let's do something a bit more techno speed. Hell yeah. And now we're doing modular synthesis. We can start tweaking this parameter. And we could, for example, also connect the velocity of the DFAM. We could connect this velocity to this velocity and then tweak some of the steps. To create a sequence that has some push-pull, some depth, some nuance to it. So we're not hearing the DFAM at all, we're only hearing the plonk, but sequenced by the DFAM. And we can start getting really creative with it because these cables, you can plug them in pretty much anywhere. And so for example, instead of the velocity out, let's make the decay change. And instead of the pitch, maybe let's change one of these blue knobs instead. See how this sequence has some depth and nuance within it? And let's try an entirely different sound within the plonk. And so we've now successfully expanded the capabilities of this semi-modular synthesizer by adding in one external unit. And that exponentially opens up the space of exploration. And so each unit that you're going to connect to this is exponentially opening up the capabilities of your sound design explorations.